Hello, everyone. My name is 12 Gage, and this is my channel, 12 Gage Investigative. If you're looking for the podcast to keep your attention, to keep the exciting topics coming, you've come to the right place. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Let's dive in. Good evening, everyone. My name is 12 Gage. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gage Investigative Podcast. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Sonia D from D's True Crime.
Good
And
evening.
without further ado, I'm going to let Sonia let the audience know a little bit about herself.
Thank you so much for having me, 12 Gauge. Oh my God, I missed being here. Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. I'm Sony D from D's True Crime. I also have a intuitive um, website, TikTok. Um, Also, I'm very much more active on TikTok. So I have my D's True Crime, and I also have my intuitive love account. So I kind of go from both angles, spiritual and true crime. So today I think we're going to go more into my intuitive side, I think, rather than true crime, which is a nice little break. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I said, this is going to be really nice to just chill and talk, and I'm going to love this. So it's really nice to be here again.
All right. All right. Well, you're more than welcome to be here once again. We have done live together in the past on that one infamous case that the whole world has been captivated by for three
Yeah.
and a half, almost 4 years. And I don't even need to say it. Everybody knows what case that is. Do you know what case that is, Sonia?
Of course I do.
Of
Of
course, of
course I
course.
do. Yes, and it's still going a lot. I'm seeing it all over the place. It's just not stopping. Um, I don't know. I have my opinions on that, I guess. I think it's just time to let it go, but um,
Right.
yeah.
Well, there's a new case out now that it just in the news, just as hardcore. And I brought my nitro glove just to
That's you think
have.
that's what they were wearing? It looked thicker than that to me.
Well, this glove actually, when you put it on,
Yes, can you put it on just to see what it looks like? Because I would like.
sure.
Okay, see, it's tight on you. It was loose on the dude. It was really
Yeah,
loose. Like you could see the little wrinkles and stuff. So people thought he was wearing a ring. Maybe he is. I don't know. But
right.
you can tell it was much bigger than what his hand was. But it's tight on your hand. You see, that's not what I saw on the camera. I'm not sure
So
that's
what you saw on the camera was this view, right? What-
yes, but it was looser, right? You can tell by the wrinkles in the glove. Like it looked too big for the guy.
Yeah, these are extra large, and
Yeah, so I don't know if they were actually nitrile gloves. I'm not
yeah,
sure. Is that what they said? I don't know. They
yes,
said
these are the type of gloves that they found.
craziness.
And I saw a crazy TikTok the other day because I spend a lot of time on TikTok now. It's
Hmm.
easy to do. You just sit there and get caught in the rabbit hole,
Yeah,
and before you
definitely.
know it, it's like 4 hours, and you've been scrolling forever. So
Right.
see, whenever you take it off, it is.
It does this, yes,
It is
yes.
kind of wrinkled up, and if it's
It might have
fucked
just
up,
been too big for the guy. It
yeah,
might have just been, but
yeah. But I did see what you were talking about as far as they were mentioning the ring because you did see a little kind of circular object on his
yeah,
hand.
yeah. I
So
mean,
what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that?
on that case,
Yeah,
well, I think my initial thought, and a lot of people are either they don't agree or not. But of course, it was like this with the Idaho case too, and
right.
that's really important though to start off is just to say it's okay to have a difference of opinion. Like the disrespect from one side to the next is just not called for. Not everybody's going to agree, so just agree to disagree, um, and
Of course.
so in this case too, so a lot of people disagree with the whole stalker theory that I have. I believe that Savannah has a stalker or had a stalker. It probably still does. And for whatever reason, the stalker knows, and obviously, a stalker's infatuated with you. And
Right.
based on a new, call it, a new article that was out, and I'll try to find where it is in just a second, and what who said it. It was Midwest Pundit. They shared that Savannah Guthrie had a stalker and she had security guards for that reason.
Oh
Whether or
wow.
not that's true, I don't know. But that was my theory from day one, knowing that Savannah is a public figure. I'm like, okay, and Nancy's been on the Today Show many times. So the stalker or stalkers would have known that Nancy is her mom. All they have to do is get her address and take out their revenge on Savannah using their mother as bait. And
Yes,
that is what I've been saying
that
for
is
like
an
ever.
interesting concept. Yes, I would have never have thought that. I mean,
But no forced entry. So maybe somebody knew, well, that's kind of conflicting, the no forced entry by the sheriff. It's really conflicting.
oh,
Um,
that guy, don't get me started on him.
yeah, I'm not going there because I just don't
Oh,
like the guy. But
yeah,
he uh he said about the no forced entry. But what else? There's a memoir that Savannah Guthrie supposedly wrote years ago. I don't know how many years ago. I don't know much about that, but it talks about them pretending to be kidnapped when they were younger,
I
her,
did.
Annie, and her cousins. And then Nancy knew about it and she played along and just went and picked them up like days later. So the kidnapping runs like it's been an ongoing prank within the family. So I'm weirded out about that because the stalker, knowing that from the memoir, maybe used that to their advantage and said, "Hey, I'm just going to do this because kind of it gets you back in the heart, right?" Adds
Right. You
um,
just never know. These are some interesting thoughts. I have not thought that deeply in on this case. I'm glad that you're on the panel and that you're sharing these with us. You know, these are
Yeah, thank you. I've been saying this from the get go. My best friend Melissa, I love her to death. She doesn't agree. She thinks it's more cartel related, which I'm open to as well because it's very close to the Mexican border. Very open to that as well. So I prefer to stay on both sides again, but I'm open to both theories. But I believe it's more so stalkerish because just if there's an infatuation with Savannah, obviously to me they're going to use her mom who's been on the Today Show multiple times. The stalker would have known the mom as well, so it just makes sense. And the whole
that's.
memoir too. And
Let me
yeah,
ask you a question, and we're going to probably shift gears from that case. But
sure,
I know because we didn't really want to talk true crime all the
right.
whole time. But let me ask you a question. Did the in the video footage that we got to see from the FBI,
Mhm.
did that guy not look like the most clumsy and abductor, intruder? I mean,
I
not
honestly
not that
don't
there's
know.
a professional way to do it, but I mean, to have the holster right there in front of his
Very
stuff.
amateur, very amateur.
Yeah.
And I have to shout out Melissa for this. I'm going to talk about her probably a little bit when we're talking about true crime, because her and I talk all the time and
That's
we
fine.
bounce ideas off each other. Love her to death. But she said, it would be a low ranking cartel if it is that, um, because the guy was klutz. He was a klutz. He was an amateur. Um, you know, because of the holster, and also the what I said was the picking up of the flowers, the dried flowers, trying to cover the camera with that. Are you dumb? So and
Yeah, it's
uh,
almost like trying to cover the camera with some potpourri or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You
but
know
I
what
mean,
I
it's
mean?
I laugh, but I'm not laughing at the situation. Obviously, like, we want to
Of
find
course.
Nancy. Obviously, like, that's first and foremost. Like, do I think she's alive? I do not, and I just wish I was wrong with that, but I'm not. I don't think I'm wrong. Like, I pray that she's alive and she comes back, but she doesn't have her meds. Like, or maybe that's why she might be in Mexico, because she can get her meds easier. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I just pray that she comes home and they get her, whether it's alive or unalived, just get her body back, and have a proper funeral for her, if that's the case. Like, just like, that's it. Like,
Well, I don't know if you watch any of my shorts on my channel, but there was another case in, I guess it was Scottsdale, Arizona, where two high school kids abducted an individual out of the home and
oh,
demanded Bitcoin
I
as a
have
reward.
not heard of that. No.
Yeah.
Wow. I
So
don't think those ransom notes are legit, though. I
I
don't.
don't either. I don't either.
Maybe
But
the
as
first one, but I don't think so either.
far as is this becoming a trend, or is that a copycat?
Mm-hmm.
Was did that happen before Nancy got abducted? Was this something that could have been in somebody else's mind? You just never know. And one more thing before we switch gears, I was looking at the. I'm starting to get into the Idaho case mindset with the deep diving crap. I got to stay out of that.
Right.
I was looking at the Earth cams
Yeah, I
today,
do that.
and there's some that are right there within 3 or 4 miles of the
Mm,
Catalina foothills. It's like from a park, and
okay.
I was looking at that, and I was like, I don't even know what I would be looking for. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far back those cameras go, but do you wonder if they've been able to look at those cameras to see
Mm,
possibly if there was a high, if there was a vehicle speeding off? You know, there's so many similarities, and I guess because Idaho has been a focus with this channel, and I know it has been with yours.
yeah.
Oh, there's just so many similarities, like the genetic genealogy that they're gonna try.
Right. That's next. That's definitely next. IgG. And it's a
Yeah,
good thing. It's a good thing. I mean, if they can get who did it from that, then it's going
yeah,
to be, this is a new thing. And yeah, there's going to be the Idaho case being as high profile as it was. It's definitely led the way for all these other cases.
yeah.
It's opened the door um, for that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hope, like you say, either way, whether she comes home on her own, whether she comes home,
Yeah.
deceased, just so she comes home to her family, because
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being my mother out there 18, 19 days, needing her medication, all that stuff, and, all these
Mhm.
things. I cannot imagine that
Me
that
neither. It's really traumatic, and really, like, I can just imagine. There's a lot of things that I do think about, of course, being in the true crime, and just I'm I'm definitely thinking of her welfare first and foremost, um
right.
is just, I don't know. I just find the whole situation is just so very weird. And it could be a copycat incident, like you asked. Like, it could be. And that's the thing with everything being out on the news, like people get like there's just going to be so many copycats about this, and it's not a good way to start 2026, in my opinion. I mean, Jesus.
Honestly, who asked for a ransom in 2026? You
Well,
get the thing. I
it's
mean, the ransom has not been a focal point.
right. It's not. And also with the digital footprint, who's stupid enough to even like think of that? Like or try to do that? Like honestly, I think everybody should have cameras. I have a lot, and I live in an apartment, but I have a lot of cameras. I feel everybody should have cameras and a cloud storage for them. I deal with Amazon Blink. I That's who I have, and I mean, I have a cloud storage. Nancy Guthrie should have had cameras inside her home, like
Yeah,
in my opinion, like just everybody should nowadays. Like I'm just so paranoid to the point I have cameras as well inside and outside, but it's like I don't know, everybody should, and I just pray that they have more footage than what they're letting on those cameras, and they have more evidence. But so far they're like just calling like hundreds of freaking feds for nothing, for like a lead. What they did like last weekend, that was wild. Like did you see that? Like there's so many cars, so many
yeah,
feds, so many and
yes,
the drama of it all, like, and then it ended up to be nothing. It's
yeah.
just so sad. Like, but then again, everybody's talking about the same dude, like Luke Daly or whoever. I mean, he does kind of look like the guy in the mask, but I mean, I don't know, like we need more evidence on that.
I mean, yeah, of course. And just like, and I hate to keep referring to Idaho, but you know, it's the same kind of stuff. Same
Hmm.
kind of stuff. It's like
Yep.
you're putting all your emphasis on a photo and you're overlaying people's
It's
faces
becoming dangerous is what it is, 12
and
gauge.
yes, and you're
Just
thinking this is definitely the guy or this is the guy. And that's
mhm.
why I've kind of, the investigative podcast was created because I wanted to do a lot more of what we're doing right now
Right.
and a lot less with just focusing on our opinions on what other people are actively doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I
So
mean, it is,
let's
yeah.
kind of switch gears because
Yeah, no
um,
problem. I'm glad
I
with that.
know that I know you were wanting to ask me a question, and you
Yeah.
said wait till we get live and I'll ask you. So go
Yeah, for
right.
sure. So I hear that you talk a lot about recovery and, alcoholism and everything here sometimes. So, and I don't catch you a lot. So I want to take advantage of that, and I want to talk about that because it's a good topic, I find.
Okay. Well, yes, I am a recovering alcoholic drug addict, and I have had my struggles with both early on in my life. I started drinking when I was about 17, and I stopped at age 35.
Mm.
So I drank and drugged and raised hell for all those years. I became at 35. I went back to school and finally got it together long enough to get a degree and a licensure to be a
That's
therapist.
awesome.
So
Oh,
now I'm a licensed chemical dependency therapist, and I also went back to school recently to get my criminal justice degree, my bachelor's. So I have two degrees, and also it's just been a long road. It's been a long road, and I talk a lot about healing, about recovery, because I do a lot of classes with the youth, and
oh, that's awesome.
a lot of them are trying the vapes and they're trying, the alcohol and they're smoking, the nicotine and all that stuff,
Hmm.
but they're uncertain where they're getting it from, what
Yeah.
where it's coming from. Is it because they're sharing it? To
Yeah,
me, it's
that's what we
almost
used
like,
to do too, though, right? Like, I mean, I'm 47. I'm 47, yeah. So I don't know how old you are, but I mean, it sounds like we went through the same thing when we were younger too. We would share our joints and our sorry. I don't know what I can say here. But
I don't know. I was never the sharer. It's like
no,
I had
I
my bottle and you did not drink from my bottle.
oh
You
no,
know,
no, I'm alcohol absolutely
and
not.
and I mean the joint stuff. I mean, I would, yeah, I would share, I guess, and you
Yeah.
know, I would
Not
do.
now,
You know,
now anymore, but I smoke my
but
own, but I definitely used to
think about
share.
the fentanyl. You know, you hear about
That's
so much
crazy.
that is laced with fentanyl these days.
Yeah. See, I've never and I can kind of I relate because I'm also a recovering alcoholic. I mean, I never went through the AA or anything like that. I did it all by myself. So I've quit 14 years ago, 15 years ago now, and I will have a social birthday drink, like a strawberry daiquiri. That's it. That's all. Um but I was a severe alcoholic and I've been through it as well. And I used to also smoke so many cigarettes. It was disgusting, disgusting. My place reeked. I go by someone that smokes a cigarette now. I cannot. Um, but yes, I've been through so much as well in
Well, let me
my.
ask you, since you know you're a former smoker, does it really calm you down? Because
Oh,
I know theoretically with all the theories and all the, you know, background that I have in it, I know the concept,
it didn't
but
calm me at all. It made me more anxious because if I was at the time I would smoke, I would drink so much, I would spend all my money on alcohol and then on cigarettes of what I could. And when I had no cigarettes, like, and I would smoke a lot, like, I mean, 75 cigarettes a day, which is 3 packs.
wow,
Yeah, no, I was bad. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I blacked out hundreds of times. Um, I used to drink alone, not always. I used to party a lot. And then whenever I lost my license the second time, I used to drink alone because I couldn't drive anymore. So I ended up
right.
drinking all by myself here, like a 12 Heineken a night. Yeah, it was not good.
And
And then one day I just like said, fuck this. I'm
okay.
done. I'm done. And then I quit cigarettes at the same time too. I quit it all. Um,
So
yeah,
was that your proverbial bottom, so to speak? I
that
mean,
was my bottom. Yeah.
because we all have our different bottoms, you know, and if
Yeah.
we never reach there, you know, I had a sponsor. I tried the 12-step route and I did it the first time, but it wasn't something that I was really into.
Hmm.
I I found my higher power on my own.
Same.
But the sponsor used to tell me, you know, 12, you're a stubborn SOB. He said, you're not gonna heal until he said, here's the example. You gotta sit on that 16 penny nail and feel the pain all the way in and all the way out in order
Wow.
to heal. He said, what you do is you get close to the nail and you jump up and you claim, you know,
Mm,
I
yeah.
quit, I quit, I quit.
Yeah.
And he said, it's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way at all. He said, you got to impel that nail into you, feel that
Yeah.
pain all the way through, and then rise above the ashes and come out and new. I mean, it's a hell of an analogy. I didn't really sit on a nail, but you know, I had to kind of, you know, bite the bullet, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I never had a sponsor or anything like I said, but yeah, I can just I definitely don't knock who does that. Obviously, I just didn't feel like I needed it because I'm like more of a yeah, I have an addictive personality, but at the same time, um, I can get out of it like by myself too. When I've had enough, I've had enough, and that's I've been like that my whole life. So yeah, but
So,
it's
do you believe that alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease, or
of
do you
course
believe that it's a lack of willpower? Because I did a live.
that too. Yeah, actually, lack of willpower probably is more so what I would lean against. Yeah, lean towards.
Okay. Because
because it's a mind.
I've heard the argument for both.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely, well, yes, I can probably argue both ways too as well with that, because it could be, but I think more of the willpower, because without that, you're just going to cave and you're not going to be strong enough to really like put an end to it, you know? Really
mhm,
stop, really stop what you were doing, the pattern and the path that you were in. But also, like, my cat saved me too, because a stray cat had three kittens outside in the winter, and well, it was like April when I brought them in, and that, at the time, I was an alcoholic. I was like, just, I'm like, my God, and I already had two cats. I'm like, so I just brought in a cat and three kittens, and I already have two cats. I'm like, I gotta stay sober so
right,
nobody fights, and she can
right.
baby, she can take care of her babies, like, without like fights going on. And so that is what, like, really got me to be like, okay, no, I have to be like alert here.
Well,
Right.
early on in sobriety, they do say, whatever it is that's greater than yourself, that's going to keep you focused on your sobriety,
Mm-hmm.
use it, whether it be a doorknob, whether it be, you know, anything that's
Mm-hmm.
greater than you. Because
Yeah.
I know in my addiction, I was my own universe. The world revolved around 12 gauge, just kind of like it is behind me. And that is symbolic, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's why I chose that. If I
Love
want
it.
to tell my audience that's why I chose that, because I always thought the world revolved around 12, and now it literally does.
That's a sweet thing. That's really, I love that. I have my altar back there. That's what revolves around me, is my crystals and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
have seen that. I have seen that in all your videos. I
Yeah,
have
I
seen.
share that a lot. Yeah, I share, like, like I said, my YouTube, which is really weird because my YouTube, I have it set themed. My niche is like true crime, but I just changed my bio to incorporate that you're not only going to see true crime, you're going to see spiritual stuff, intuitive stuff, my Reiki. I'm also a Reiki master since 2003. So that is a huge part of me, where I heal, and I, like, I'll send distant healing to everything, the earth, animals, eagles. I follow eagle nests, like the eagle nest cams, like crazy. So I'm always like providing them like with little healing in there. I have like an altar back there, and I have like eagles. I have two eagle carving things. So I'm sending Reiki right now to two nests. Anyways,
Right,
so, but my channel is a lot of that too. So it's like, and for me, animals and nature have totally turned me around. Like, not only did those cats that I took in, right? Like, and I kept those cats. Like, I still have her kittens. Like, well, they're not kittens now. They're like going to be 12, but I still have them. She's passed away, unfortunately, but I have her urn. So
right.
that is what helped me sober up, um, just to be there. And then
Well,
it's
there's old schoolers that are gonna disagree with all the new age stuff. All this
they
stuff.
can. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever
of
works for
course.
you.
That's what I always tell people. Powerlessness gives you so little control back to your life.
Right.
I tell people, if you ever get shocked by electricity, are you gonna quit using it because all of a sudden you're gonna realize that you're powerless over it? Or are you
Right.
gonna learn to respect it and
Exactly.
understand the consequences that it gave you
Yeah.
and learn from that and move on? And
Trust. Yes.
that's something that I've kind of instituted through my years of counseling, individuals that have substance abuse problems.
Hmm.
I've known a lot of people who I've valued their mentorship throughout my internships, that were into crystals, that were into rocks. I had a supervisor, she was deeply into the rock. The rocks all had different kind of symbolism
They
based
do.
on the contour, based on the contour. And
Hmm.
and you know what? That is amazing that you can get that in tune with yourself and an object to kind of give you a transformation of energy from one thing to another.
Absolutely. Well, Reiki is part of that though, because Reiki transmits energy to somebody else and I can do it from a distance, you know. I could even say 12 gauge tonight at like, 11:30, you go sit down on your couch, I'll sit down on my couch. I'll give myself Reiki, but I'm sending it to you and you'll feel it. You'll be like you're gonna get hot and stuff. You're gonna be like, oh, and then emotions are gonna start playing because it's a transformation thing. Like it's a
Right.
healer, right? So it's definitely something that is like, and then the crystals, well, they all have their own properties, so you can like use your crystals. Like I have my grid right now, that I just did for the Eagles, and I'm gonna try to put it against the camera so maybe you can see it. And
Okay.
like I have a protection goddess there, and I have tourmaline, which is for protection. I have like archangels,
Okay.
as well, and I have the two like little eagle things. I do this a lot, but I mean, it keeps me grounded, and being grounded is what's so important. If you're not grounded, living in the present time, and like you're not, you're gonna be all over the place all the time. So it's good
My
to stay
mantra,
grounded.
my mantra is "To thy own self be true." You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
To, to thy own self be true. It's like
Yep.
if you can't be true to you, how are you ever
Exactly.
going to be true to anybody else? How are
That's
you
right.
ever going to make the right choices that it takes to be a
Right.
better human being? And I don't know what your purpose as far as recovery is, but my purpose was to get into a mindset where I gave more than I took because I was a piece of shit. I
Me
mean,
too.
excuse my language in front of you, but
No,
I
me
was a piece,
too. Me
I
too.
was
I was a real
a,
see you next Tuesday.
you know,
Yeah, I know. I get it. But that's alcohol talking though. That's alcohol fucking with your mind. That's what it is. It takes
yeah,
over. And
and yeah, and at that point you're thinking,
you
I'm
have no
not
judgment.
I'm not hurting anybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. But
you
yeah.
just you just are trying to be the spoiler of a good time. You party pooper, blah blah blah, all this stuff. But in reality, you're hateful. You're
Hmm.
angry. You're edgy. You don't complete anything. I walked off from so many jobs, Sonia, just to go get drunk.
Well, I used to
I
go
think
to work drunk from the night
yeah,
before all the time. I was still drunk going to work,
me too. Me too.
you know? And I miss a lot of work because of that too, whenever I worked for the company I used to work for at the time. So, yeah. But
You
then
know,
again, like I mentioned to you, I've been through it. Like you guys, I've lost my license twice. I got two DUIs. One in 1998 when I was a stripper. So I was pretty wild, okay? But I've never gone into the whole cocaine and the whole hard drugs. Never ever ever. And in stripping, it's going to be offered to you quite a bit. And it was, hey, I don't have like $10 for the dance, but do you want a gram of Coke or something? No. So I've always said no. I was always an alcoholic. So I drank my drink and I smoked my weed and my cigarettes, and that was it. But so in 1998 and then 2006, so I got stopped both times. I got two
right,
DUIs. Luckily, I didn't hurt nobody. I hurt my car quite a bit because I used to drive drunk all the time. And I'm glad I got caught.
me too.
I'm so glad I got caught.
Right,
Um, and so, yeah, I lost my license, but then I never went to get it back. Like I was able to go get it back in 2009. I never did because I knew, well, I still have a record, all of this. So I waited until, what was it, like 4 years later, and I got a pardon. So now I'm pardoned. So now I have no record. I went through all the steps, medical evaluation, all of that. So now my record's wiped clean, so even if you fuck up to the extent that I did, it's possible to come out of it.
right,
It's
right,
like seriously, like it's just so. And then and I still don't have my license, and we're at 2026 now. I could have
right.
gotten them back in 2009, but now if I go, I'm like a new driver, and I don't even need to have that blowing machine. So I'm going this year to get my license back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good
And I
job.
don't
Good.
drink, so there's no way I'm gonna be like freaking drinking and driving and
Right.
busting my freaking rims from hitting the curbs all the time. Oh my
Oh my
god.
God. You
Oh
mentioned stripping. Well,
yeah.
the strip club was one of my most popular hangouts. I
Yeah.
love
Well,
the
mine too.
lighting. I love
Mine
the
too.
lighting. I love the camaraderie. The drinks were flowing. It was
Yeah.
like its own club, and you got the benefits of getting
Yeah.
to know the ladies.
Yeah.
There for a while, I wasn't even buying my own drinks. After a while, I was getting the drinks bought for me.
Yeah,
And
for sure. Were you a DJ or something?
no,
No? Oh,
I was just
I have
a
so many stories when it comes to
I
like the
was just a
DJs.
customer. I was just a customer, but you know what? I've always been that inquisitive type person that, I'm just get a little this person right now that I am sober is the person I was when I was drinking. I was just scared to be this person
Right.
unless I was drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You're always a different person when you're drunk. Like I felt for a long time I was boring without if I wasn't drunk. Like I'm just like, "Oh, I'm so boring now." Like but,
But who were you once you got drunk? You were not boring anymore, but yet
no, I mean, I had the guts to go strip. Yeah, no, I wasn't boring at all. Like I wouldn't do that now, but that was a whole thing. I only
I
did it for
mean,
2 years.
just being a dancer, I tip my hat to you if I had one,
It was
because
yeah,
that
it's hard.
I've not only dated dancers, I've some of my closest friends have been ex dancers, that it's a moment in time. It's almost like that F the world, this is the most taboo thing on the planet.
Mhm.
I'm at my deepest peril. Let me just go dive on into the abyss.
Yeah, but I wasn't there yet though. This was at the beginning stages. I wasn't in my rock bottom stage at all. My rock bottom stage was like more like 2000, in between 2006 when I lost my license the second time,
Okay.
and um whenever I quit drinking. So, yeah.
So what has sobriety given you that you didn't understand could be good for you?
Oh gosh. A will to live, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can say. Like, I mean, I was in a dark place. Like, alcohol would change me. Like, I would like, I'm going a little too deep here, but I would like literally punch my head. I would punch myself. I would beat myself. It was not good. And
Isn't it a painful, lonely
it was a lonely world.
feeling? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So
yeah.
definitely I was not in my right state of mind. I suffered with mental illness then, but I'd like to think now that I've surpassed all of this, I've overcome it all. um
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so but yeah, I mean, people looking at me now wouldn't even know. But I mean, on my YouTube channel, like I have videos back of me like kind of going into like my how did I call it? I called it a series, confronting my past,
Okay.
of things that I've dealt with. So my alcoholism is in there. So I've shared that on my YouTube, but it's never gotten any reach because it's like way back then, years
Right.
and years ago. But it's definitely something that has changed. Well, and I'm glad that I've changed for the better now. Like I'm so proud of myself and proud of
Yeah,
you as well for what you've gone
thank you.
through and what you've overcome. Um, you know, and I just want
Can I
people to,
share something with you?
yeah, for sure.
Um, you know, I talked about my first day of sobriety. Um, was my first day of school. I said I'm not going into this drinking. So I was hungover on my first day of college, right?
Okay.
And that night, because I had all, let me back up a little bit. I used to work, I was telling you, I used to jump around from job to job until I landed in a drug and alcohol hospital for drug addicts, alcoholics, and mental health issues on one side.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to the drug addicts and alcoholics. So I was a mental health tech, so I worked over there. I stayed at that job for 3 years because they locked you in once you came in at 3 o'clock and you couldn't leave till 11.
Okay.
So I couldn't escape, you know. But anyways, fast forward to then to going to school, I learned watching and listening on the floor that journaling was a good tool, right?
Amazing tool.
So
Mm-hmm.
my first day at school, I started my online journal. It's on a site called Open Diary,
Oh
and
wow.
uh, and I started day one, and it just became part of my healing. It
That's
became
awesome.
'cause I was so out there, Sonia. I tried the mental health med because my brain was so scattered and fried. I was anxious, depressed,
Right.
up and down, all over the place. Journaling was the only thing that would be around long enough to help me calm down.
Right. I hope you have that like saved somewhere and
I
you
do.
won't. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. That's
Yeah.
really really important. Yeah.
Yeah, that site is still up and they allow you to print it out if you ever want to.
Okay.
I thought about printing it out and publishing it, but there's a lot of incriminating stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, like you've dealt with the consequences to everything that you've done.
Well, it's kind of like what you said before we got on camera. I hope certain people weren't watching, and I was like, "Well, I totally understand it
Mm,
because
gotcha.
there's some things in there that I'm like,
My
I don't know."
dad finds these things out. Like I still share him stories of what I used to do when I would drink, and he's like, "For fuck's sake, Sonia!" Like he's like, "What the?" He gets so mad, but I mean, okay, let me share. No, I can't share this story. No, I can't. I just can't. No, I can't. But
Okay.
anyways, um, yeah. But there's yeah. Anyways, he was very disappointed in me, and so was
Yeah,
I. And I'm
yeah,
all I gotta say is I'm just so happy I did not get caught. Just like,
yeah.
oh my god. Anyways, it was in my drinking and driving days. It was just that. It's something I did when I was drinking and driving. Like I didn't hurt anybody or anything. Hurt my car quite a bit. And but that's not what I'm talking about. But I used to
I
drive
busted,
really fast too. And it's more towards that. I would drive really fast. Um,
busted a lot of rims when I was tweaking.
yeah.
Like you twitch seeing stuff that isn't really there. Your brain is moving faster than you are, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, damn!" And then boom, you pop your tire, and
Fuck yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I've been there. He's helped me fix a few of my tires.
yeah. So, but
Wow.
I have like 14 or 15 years of journal entries in that thing,
That's so awesome. Wow.
and sometimes from time to time, whenever I'm having those moments where I can't remember a lot of my life because I'm so far removed from that part of me, I
Same.
go back and I start reading, and I'm like, wow,
You
was
didn't
this?
remember, eh? Right? You don't remember, like, yeah, that's you probably blacked out a lot too, 12 gauge, right? Did you ever
Yeah.
get drunk to the point where you blacked out a lot?
Oh,
Yeah,
I would black out.
yeah,
At one point, I was probably a centimeter from death. I cheated death
same,
more than, it's like,
same. Yeah, I'm a
like
tough
they
cookie,
say,
man.
yeah,
Jesus
it's like a
Christ.
miracle. It's a miracle we're still here.
I
And,
know.
it
Yes, you
just,
guys can learn if you're in a situation like that, or if you know somebody, just have faith. It can happen, but they have to be ready. They really have to be ready. It's not going to
of
work if they're
course,
not.
of course. And you have to really have a good support system.
Yeah.
And the higher power that I talk on, I didn't have I had a religious upbringing, but not really. So God represented a father to me that my earthly father, I couldn't even wrap my head around loving somebody who on earth never
Yeah.
loved me, I
Hmm.
thought. So it took me a long time to really just pray about it or, go to go to whoever and whatever. I'm good with all that now, but then during those dark times, I was angry. I was an
Yeah.
angry person, at everything and anything that you could have thrown at me. I got thrown that statement. Just pray about it so many freaking times. And
Mm.
one time I lashed out and I said, "Pray about what? How's praying going to help me? It hasn't helped me a damn bit. My bills are still due. I'm still broke. I still don't have this." I said, the victim, the
Yeah,
victim.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I know that. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
So you've been there, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah. But hmm, I know how that is. And I pray to the angels. I pray to God too, but God, well, the angels work for God. So when I do my Reiki prayer and stuff, I always mention God in there, but I have a whole bunch of others that I add in there, archangels and angels, and God is in there. So I do, but I started praying more so like whenever it was like I quit, like whenever I was time to quit, whenever I knew it was time to quit, that's whenever I really prayed, and I just kept praying and doing Reiki. Because at the time I got my Reiki in 2003, and I hit my rock bottom after that. So but Reiki brought me out of it as well. Like,
Yeah.
it at the time I was blocked where I wasn't really using my Reiki too much, um but once I said, "Oh, that's enough is enough," like I got out of it that way. Um
It's interesting that you bring up the angels because, I was right early on. Most addicts and alcoholics are scared of death. They're
yeah.
scared of dying. Even though we put our lives in danger every moment of our existence,
Yeah,
we're scared to die. Well,
I'm not.
when I was getting sober, I don't know, I picked up this book at the library, and it was about angels and near death experiences and all this stuff. And I could not put it down. It's like I just kept reading, kept reading, kept reading. And that book led me into my own path.
Yep.
And then, it went from there. But that I was literally on a dock by the lake. That was my God spot, so to speak. I'd go out there and read books on angels and near death experiences and, how searching for a purpose and meaning for my
Yep.
own life because at that point I had none. I thought I
Right.
was I thought I was a piece of shit. I thought, I was a thief. I thought, that nothing good can ever come from my life. Everybody that's ever loved me has died or left me,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So at that point, finding that book saved me, it
Do
saved
you
me.
have the book still, or do you know what book it is?
I don't even know what book it is. Like,
Really, eh? I should send you a picture of all my angel books. You might see it. Like I have so many. So I might even have it. Like, was it? Do you remember the author? Was it Doreen
wouldn't that be,
Virtue?
wouldn't that be weird? Um,
It
I
could
don't
be
know.
Doreen Virtue, because at or Sylvia Brown even could have been Sylvia Brown or Doreen Virtue because they were big in those times, and I
Yeah,
have a
so
lot of their
around
books.
98 through 2003, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I would maybe take the time and try to research,
Uh,
and then
I mean,
and show me the picture if you find it, and watch me have it. I'd be
right.
like,
Wouldn't that,
wow.
that would be wild. That would be intense for
Yeah,
sure.
I have so many books. So yeah,
But, something as little as a book
it
that
helped you so much. Yeah,
catches your heart. You know
that's
what I mean?
beautiful, actually. And I'm not surprised because you were ready. Like your soul was ready to make that change. So the angels came through and gave you a book that made you question your whole or it made you see your purpose. So at that
But
point,
but you know what people don't really understand, and I'm gonna go back to the little dark area a little bit. When the spiritual warfare starts to happen, once you start transitioning,
mhm,
and the spiritual warfare comes, and it is so freaking intense.
I know.
a lot of people, that's when the relapses happen. That's when people give up. That's when people walk away.
because they're afraid of change and they're scared of good. They're
Exactly,
you just
exactly.
if you just let it go a little further, if you give it a couple more weeks, you'll be like, oh man, you'll see how much better you feel, and you'll be like, oh, you know what, oh, okay, I kind of like this. And then
Right,
you know,
right.
so but it's always the first few weeks that are the hardest, because you're going through withdrawals. Like withdrawals are crazy when you're
And
quitting.
I was working at a place trying to get sober. I
Yeah.
get this, Sonia. I would have to drive the clients on a Sunday morning, right, to AA. They would go on. I was hungover. I was still drunk. If I would have got pulled over, I would have got a DWI driving the
Hmm,
company
hmm.
van. But they would go into AA. There'd be all these chairs out there, and I'd be like this,
Yeah, I mean,
passed out, still drunk. Lunchtime came. You're eating, just nourishing up again.
yeah,
Start to get that midday headache. All
yeah,
the clients knew. It's like this dude is working with us, and he's coming drunk every weekend.
yeah, yeah. It
I
was
mean, it
I can
it is
imagine. I can definitely imagine. And that's just not, it's, I'm glad you came out of that. Definitely glad you
I
came out of
mean,
that.
that's probably the tamest story I have. You like my Scooby Doo shirt? Like
Yeah, I love it.
I
Simple
saw a
Plan.
Simple Plan, and they
I
sing the
love
Scooby
it.
Doo song, and it was awesome.
I love
I
Scooby
saw
Doo.
them probably 3 years ago. I took my nephew, my oldest nephew. I took him, and they still sound the same they did back in the '90s. You know what I mean? They're older, but the singers sound the same.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed just discussing what we've discussed tonight. I
Yeah,
really,
I'm willing to do this a lot if you want. Like I'm well, we'd have to keep it to a certain day. I'm very like I have a lot on my plate. Like I have two jobs, sometimes three. I have my I help my girlfriend here and there for cleaning in the evening, but then on I work my 9 to 5, but it's actually 8 to 6. So
right,
it's not
right.
really 9 to 5. I work longer hours, but I have Mondays off. So Mondays are usually okay, but today's what? Thursday?
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday.
Thursdays are good too. Anytime you want, just email me and then we can go over
What
all kinds of stuff. Like I love sharing my story. Um, and not a lot of people would know that about me, like everything I've shared tonight.
right.
Um, but it's made me who I am, and what you've been through has made you who you are. Um,
I
you
mean,
know,
once you're honest about it, you can't ever. I mean,
exactly.
it made you who you are today. So
That's
how
right.
have any kind of shame about that? No matter what other people think.
I've been through my shame, but I've part of healing is healing yourself, healing your heart, and forgiving yourself too. You
Right. That's
know,
good stuff.
so you know, it's definitely possible, and it definitely is possible. Like I just,
No doubt. No doubt. And one last thing before we sign off, we still have a little bit. Um, you were mentioning cameras in the home.
yeah,
I am getting a body cam tomorrow to strap to myself while I'm doing my side hustle, just to record, the point of view
that's
reference
awesome.
and show my audience.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm getting a dash cam.
Oh, awesome.
And it's like,
I
I
love
don't
it.
know. I'm just taking the channel into a different direction, stuff that I like to do because I like talking true crime. But you know what? After
There's
a
other
while,
things about you too. It's not just true crime.
yeah,
And I applaud you for that, because and that's where we were talking earlier, because you do that and so do I. And then I'm like, I'm always worried in the background, like, okay, who's going to leave my channel because I'm not talking true crime for today? Like,
right,
and if they got to go, they got to go. I mean, um after all, it is our channel and we're not all about true crime. Like again, today we talked about recovery, we talked about all kinds of
Oh,
stuff. So
yeah.
like and it's definitely something that's so important, like so important to me. And also like, my channel is also about nature. I love nature. Like you look at my channel, there's a lot of nature, a lot of animals, but also a lot of true crime and a lot of other things, so but I love the fact that you're going to have that body camera and the dash cam. That's a chef's kiss. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, because you just never know when you'll capture a moment that is gonna
Exactly.
change your life. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, you know what? That gives people the point of reference that you never really see from other people other than the police.
Yeah. Are you gonna go
You
boots on the ground, like to different things? What?
know, well, I'm gonna okay, since you asked, I think eventually my next time off, I'm gonna head up to Oklahoma City, and I'm gonna do some deep digging on the Karina Saunders case.
Okay.
She's a 19-year-old that was murdered. She was into prostitution, drug addiction,
Oh
and
wow.
she was murdered and stuffed into some suitcases, duffel bags.
Oh no.
Her
Okay.
story is on my channel, so
Okay.
if
I'll check it out.
you need to check that out. And I plan on doing that. And I always like to like when I'm driving, I like to talk to the
Mm-hmm.
audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I click on the cam, and you can just sit there without your hands and sit there and drive and talk.
Yeah.
I'm a talker. I used to do groups 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. So that's 6 hours a day, plus all the individuals all day long. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's
I could
definitely your calling for sure. Definitely. Just don't be
I could
looking at the comments while you're driving. Be
no,
careful.
no.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
I think one thing that I like this new concept a lot better is the fact that I'm not really feeling like I'm competing with anyone, not even myself. With true crime, it got to be a competition for me.
Yeah,
It
I
got to
agree.
be like, okay, I need to constantly give fresh content, but by the time I'd get home from my 8 to 5, all the new content had already been gone through 100 million times.
Right. Yeah.
When I streamed in the evening, it would be like, okay, we've heard this all day long already, and it's like,
Yeah.
eh, I learned with the Idaho case, that did teach me a lot as far as true crime's concerned. And I dabbled in some other cases as well. Um, I did boots on the ground with the killing fields with a dear friend of mine that lived down in that area. And
Okay.
going to an actual crime scene where you have that, like you were talking about the energy,
Mm-hmm.
you could feel. I'm very empathic about the aura.
Yes.
So I could feel the darkness in those fields. You could just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we got there, it was calm, the sun was out. Once we start walking to where those girls were murdered and dumped, all of a sudden the wind started shifting, the
That's a
trees started,
sign.
it
Mm-hmm.
was got it got really kind of, I don't know, the aura changed.
Yep.
And it became really, I mean, I'm not a lot scares me, but I kind of had a little look over my shoulder type thing, like
Yeah.
there's something here.
There's a
There,
dark force or dark energy that's there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
There have been
I'm
some
very much into paranormal stuff as well.
yeah, there have been some paranormal people that have
Yeah.
actually spent the night there, and they've actually heard in with their box, and not the spirit box, but
The EMF reader.
the MS reader.
Mm-hmm.
The words actually came on that.
Yeah.
So that,
I wish I was in the States, man. I would go with you to this thing.
yeah,
I would love. Oh
I
yeah.
plan on going back, and I plan on going back. but it's still an active crime scene because they've never caught a killer
Oh,
of any of these people. They have their belief, but it is still an active crime scene. So all the people that go out there are trampling through an active crime scene.
when did
So
this
it,
happen? Is this like recent?
well, it happened in 1991 with the first body that they found, and
Okay.
it went all the way until like 1994, I believe. Or
Oh,
no, let me take that back. It was from 86 to 91 with the last
okay.
one.
Okay.
So
And it's
from that
still an
time,
active crime scene. It's not a cold case yet.
well, it is a cold case,
Okay, so it's going to be
but
reopened or
they have,
something.
because I did some FOIA requests,
Okay.
and they sent me a response back. Well, we're unable to give you that because it's still an active investigation.
Oh, oh,
So
maybe
I would
they
believe
reopened
that
it.
that that area, even though the memorial is behind the church,
Hmm.
the crime scene is right. I mean, you can walk into the woods right there where the girls were murdered.
Wow. Yeah, that
It's
reminds me
you would
here.
never know.
That's wild. But I'm so glad you're going to be covering that. I'm going to be following you. Like I'm going to be on your channel all the time.
Well,
um,
that area, I made that video. It's on there, so you just go look on my lives and you'll see it.
cool.
Um, but I
Wow.
know that you didn't want to go over an hour, but
No, no,
very
but I mean, I have a little story to share now because you're saying
okay.
you actually went and you could see the woods, which reminded me to a local case here, literally local. I live in an apartment building, right, and it's a cluster of 5 apartment buildings.
Okay.
The killer of Valerie LeBlanc, which is a local, she was in college not far from here. Um, she she lost her life to this guy 14 years ago, and they just found him the other day, well, last month, 2 months ago, and he lives in the next building over, like literally next fucking building over. So I
Wow.
have, and his name is Stefan Rival or something like that. Anyways, so he's in jail now, but he molested and he raped and he killed her in the woods. I went in there not long ago because because I had not heard of this case back then. I was an alcoholic, so I wasn't paying attention to the news. So,
Me neither.
but I found out like just a few months ago that the killer was found. But I was leaving here, and then there was all these cops, and you can tell it was like in forensics, you could tell it was a forensic van. So I'm like,
Right.
oh my god, what is going on? And then like 30 minutes later on the news it says they found the guy, and then you see my buildings. I'm like, Jesus. So those cops we just saw were for him. um and so we went into the woods where, and I let the angels guide me. I swear to God, 12 gauge. I didn't know where the hell where she was like taken off the path, but found it. She had a memorial. There was a memorial for her in there. So I found her memorial, and I'm like, so we had like a little vigil for her, like a private little vigil, just me and my girlfriend. And so it was like, oh, wow, like just so close to home. Like literally, I could have like crossed paths with him because there's like a little convenience store in the building he lived in, and I would always go there. And then my dear friend Irene, she worked there. I'm like, the amount of times she talked to this guy, you know. Oh, anyways,
Yeah.
just
I
wild.
mean that that's why when people say, um, they had to have some kind of connection with whoever they killed, that's not always true.
No, it's not.
And they fit in into society. You'd never know how many serial killers or how many killers we
Exactly. Run
run
the
across
streets.
every day. Every
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? Like, oh my God. But he's like
you
an
make
old man and she's like a little girl. Like, well, she was like in university. So she was like, in early, she was 19, I think, when she lost her life. But wow. So, but I'm also boots on the ground for local stuff here, So for anything local, I just happen to find it. I just like, whether or not I'm on my e-bike or driving
right.
or something, I always come across something Like Jesus. So yeah, boots on the ground over here too. I would love to do that. Like I would love to be in the States. Honestly, I need to get my dual citizenship. I need to. I really do. I really would love to go down there. There's so many things I want to see over there and explore. Like
Well,
paranormal is so fun to
you're
me.
more than welcome to, if you do a case or whatever and you want to present it on my channel, or because I know that you don't go live, you could be on the channel describing what you're showing,
Cool,
because
yeah, because I have a lot of pictures and stuff.
yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I'm trying to get a lot of different perspectives for the channel.
Hmm.
That way it never gets stale. It just, there's different areas, I believe that, you know, everything gonna gather itself to the team that
Yeah,
will work together or whatever, I've always believed that, so
same. And I'm in Canada too, so we have different cases you might not have even heard of. Like
of
just not
course.
long ago, we had like a school shooting in BC, which is not something we have here in Canada. Like it just doesn't happen. But like uh 7 lives were taken by this shooter. And then you know uh Saturday, I'm actually going 15 minutes from my house where a 13-year-old girl lost her life on a chairlift at a ski resort. Like
Wow.
she was on the chairlift going up to the top, and she was going to come off the chairlift, to disembark, but her hood got stuck in the chairlift itself. And the poor thing, this was on the 11th, so this is recent. So this was on the 11th during a school trip, only 15 minutes from here in Quebec. Like I'm in Quebec, I'm in Gatineau, Quebec, which is like 5 minutes from Ottawa, which
Oh
is the
man.
capital of Canada. So anyway, she lost her life. She passed away actually on Sunday. So this happened on Wednesday. She passed away on Sunday at CHIO, the Children's Hospital. So on Saturday, me, my girlfriend, my mom, and I put it out on my Facebook and on my TikTok and everything that on Saturday at 7 p.m. I want to hold a vigil for her. Like we're actually going to go where they've started a little memorial for her out there. So I'm going to go and we're gonna add to the memorial.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna
I think I saw that story either on TikTok.
perhaps
I
probably on
saw
mine. If you check my
it.
TikTok, I talked about it.
I think I saw it somewhere, and I was
Yeah,
thinking,
and I
how
put it
did
here too. I think
how
on
did that
YouTube.
happen? Now you just said her hood got caught, and
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
that's sad. And then it's and then well, it's been reopened now, the ski resort. So I guess their investigations are over, but really really sad still.
Right.
And just like a week ago, a week before that, my niece and my nephews went. So I'm just like so like grateful nothing happened to them. Like, and hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Right,
um
right.
but yeah, so I there's a lot of local stuff, but Canada's not like the States. We don't broadcast everything. So a lot of stuff gets swept under the rug because we don't want copycats over here. Um so it's different. Crime here is different. So that's why I focus so much more on the US side of things because it's very transparent over there. But there are like Canadian crimes and Canadian things that I like to talk
Well,
about
yes,
too.
that makes total sense now. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
You're
hopping on
welcome.
here and being a terrific guest.
Oh, thank
We'll
you. You're a great
definitely
host.
we'll definitely have to do this again. So anything you want to say before I hop you down?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to subscribe to my channel, go for it. It's Sony D78. TikTok is the same username, Sony D78. But I also have, if you're more into the spiritual side of things, Nature and Animals, Intuitive Love 1111. And that's about it.
All
And
right, all right,
I'll appear here and there as well.
all right. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
hopping
having
on,
me.
and we'll definitely do it again soon.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
So there you have it. A wonderful, wonderful podcast. Um, as you heard me say, I'm in the transitional phase of the channel where I'm trying to do different things. And this is one of them. One of them is basically just talking about anything that is investigative in nature. And obviously, talking recovery, addiction, true crime, it all goes hand in hand, regardless how you view it. But do understand that we're doing this not for clicks and views, but to just be informative and get the real emotions out there, the real thought, the honesty, and not do anything that's cookie cutter. Because if you've noticed that about my channel, I get bored really quickly with a lot of different things. So I always want to reinvent the channel, and it seems like a lot of things have caught on in the true crime community. But until I see you again next time, I'll never quit saying it. Maestro, cue that music. And for those of you that keep showing up, thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.